Okay, a bit late on my New York session video, but I'll talk about the trades I took in New York session. I took three trades on the NAS, and that was it. Okay, so for NAS, yesterday was a signal day, trend day signal. Daily, the daily breakout level was bearish. The weekly breakout level was bearish, faked out the previous month high, and we broke below the previous week low. So I was looking for bearish setups on a trend signal day. I'm looking for the trend retracement setup, which is a 3-star setup for me. Um, Looking for a pullback that fakes out a previous H8 or H4 at the high of the day. Previous low has to be untriggered and is below the breakout level. So NASDAQ yesterday, um, it I was looking for a sell at the high of the day, but price had already triggered the previous day low. It did not create a H8 or H4 level below the previous low, so I don't consider this a breakout. Technically, it's a breakout, but I don't consider this a breakout reversal in the way that I would look at this. Price always behaves in the same way. It starts the day off in a range until it sometimes it'll fake out the edges, but at some point it'll break out of that range and then continue down. At some point it'll reverse once it reaches its peak, um, break back inside the breakout level, which creates a false breakout, and that creates a peak formation, and then price will reverse. So there was no H8 level below here, so I still consider this a range bound market. So these setups over here are what I trade when I'm in a range. This is what I trade when I'm in a breakout. And once the peak formation is formed, I trade the fake out cycles. So coming into New York, I was looking for a high of day. Didn't happen. So I was looking also for a previous high fake out. We're below the H8 breakout level. So if I could look at this as a breakout continuation. So breakout low and then a previous high fake out to take it down. I could also look at this as a fake out reversal because market faked out and then we're taking the fake out reversal, previous high fake out back down. So to me, sells were still valid even though it did trigger this already because it's still in a range. Um, so I enter the market at New York Stock Exchange Open. I don't trade the first hour of New York. And if I find something starting at the first H4 bar opening time, then I'll try to find a setup. But if I don't find anything in the first 15 minutes, then I'll wait for the New York Stock Exchange Open, which happened right here. Right before that, there was a fake out bar, and I entered straight off that fake out bar on the M15. Didn't have a target. I was aiming for I mean, I just wanted to see how far it would go, but I did take partials at the low of the day. Something else I had taken note of is we were at the monthly breakout level. So if you've seen my previous videos, all these breakout levels, I'm bullish above, bearish below. So once it got there, I did want to see how price would react. So that was something I was aware of. So I took my partials, price came back, took my runners out at break even. When that happened, I took a look at the 1 hour chart and I had noticed that uh, there was a fake out bar, a pretty convincing fake out bar, pushed back up, faked out the month breakout level, and as well as a previous day low. If the market has broken out of the previous week low, I don't try to reverse that move until there's a fake out of the previous day low. And that becomes a breakout reversal setup. Market broke out of the breakout low, and I'm waiting for a fake out of the previous low. That's a breakout reversal. So that's a setup for me. New York, Asia, and London, I trade only the signal day setups. in this case with a trend retracement setup. But in New York, because there's such high volume, most of the time I trade setups instead. So these are all the setups that I take. Um, so once that happened, I was looking for a possible uh, long trade. But once the H8 high got faked out, then I reverted right back to my initial bias. Um, and so, with trading, there's money to be made going up and down any day. Just make sure you stick with setups. So once the H8 fake out happened, I was looking for a sell again. I had preferred it if it was at the high of the day, but I still liked being at the H8 levels. I went down. I took this thing on the 2 minute. Um, Someone asked me the other day about which time frames I look at and how I determine it. I have a separate monitor on the side that has a 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, and 1 minute, and I essentially just pick the time frame that looks best to me. So price came up, uh, triggered the previous H8 high. That's a setup for me. That's a fake. So this was a breakout reversal. Breakout reversal came back up. False breakout coming up, took out the previous high. So I'm now in the fake out retracement cycle setup. So that's the one that I traded. And honestly, the fake out retracement setup is the one that I kind of take most of my losses on. Um, I'll explain why in a bit. Uh, so, yeah, so triggered the H8 high. I entered when price came back below the H1 high. And this dotted line here is the M15 high. Um, Entered when it came back under the H1, and I was targeting no target, but I was going to take partials at the low of the day. Price hung around a bit, and this was my first sign that this trade is probably not going to uh, um, continue. Usually, my trades they will just immediately go, but when price kind of hangs around like this, uh, my antennas kind of go up, and I look at it a bit more closely. Broke out, uh, closed below. This is the previous day low line, closed right below the previous day low, and immediately broke back into the previous day low. That's when I kind of knew that this is probably not going to work out. Went to break even, took a break even trade here. Then I decided to go back to my bias here, and I thought, okay, this is definitely going up now. And I was originally waiting for an entry above the previous H8 high, which is this purple line up here. However, when the 2 minute gave me this pin bar, um, that was such a perfect looking pin bar that I just couldn't resist. I had to take that um, straight up. And once again, no target. Reason being, we're at the monthly breakout level. Uh, on the indices, I prefer to hold my long trades because uh, the indices, especially NAS, they over time it prefers to kind of go up. This whole time was COVID period, but uh, they tend to go up. So I like to hold my longs as much as I can. And it was at the breakout level. It was a possible trade to take it up. Um, I waited until the high of the day, watched it until it got to the high of the day. Once it got to that one above the high of the day, I went to break even. Um, and I was pretty sure that this was going to continue up because this is also a setup for me. Um, After the false breakout, fake out retracement. If it comes down, it's a fake out retracement. But if it breaks above the previous H8 high, it turns into a trend breakout. So trend breakouts usually make the market go on hyperdrive and just completely push up, and it confirms the false breakout as a peak formation. Don't counter trade. Don't counter trade your peak formations. And so I was pretty sure this was going to go up. So I went to break even. I did not take any partials. because I thought I was in prime position to take this up, but that's not what happened. Fake out, came back down. I didn't take any partials on this, and yeah, and at around this time I fell asleep. It was around 1 a.m. I went to bed, so I didn't see me get taken out. And then the original signal day played out. Um, so this happened after midnight. Usually I'm done by then. Some days I'll trade uh, past that, but I did not trade it this time because I was so sure that it was going to go up. But yeah, did not work out. Let's see what happens. So yeah, those were the trades I took. Sold here, bought here. Sold here, sold again, and then took the buy. Um, so yeah, so the fake out retracement leg is the setup that I take most of my losses on. It's when I'm wrong, it's a trend breakout. When I'm right, the better trade is to take the fake out continuation. So and often fake out retracements, I often will get a bit greedy and want to take another breakout. So this is the one that I tend to not do as well on. That's something that it's something that I just need to think about how I want to trade this, or maybe I won't even trade these at all. But for now, I still trade them, collecting data on it. I win enough that I like to keep it. Yeah. So that was my NAS trade. What else about this? Nothing else, I think. Yeah. So that was NAS. I didn't look at anything else. Gold yesterday had the um, it was what was it? It was a fake out day, so I was looking for a high day sell, and it happened between London H4 high fake out, right back down to the low of the day. That would be a great trade. It just happened in between my trading window, so I wouldn't be looking at this. Nothing happened in New York. No setups for me in New York. Oil, I was bearish on oil, and oil was in an inside day. So once again, price always starts on the inside. Sometimes it'll fake out the edges until it breaks out, and does all that stuff. Um, this did not do anything that I was interested in. It's just range bound trading. Yeah, so it did not trade oil, did not trade US, did not trade gold. US 30, I liked. US 30 had a signal day as well, which is the same as NAS. Everything was exactly the same like NAS. The only difference is there was no difference. But usually when US 30 and NAS have a setup, I tend to focus more on NAS. I just prefer its movement more. That's the only reason why I stuck with NAS. US 30 had a signal day trend retracement setup, happened in London. I do not trade uh, this pair in London, so I did not take this. Although that's a great trade, trend retracement setup, previous H8 high fake out at the high of the day, previous day low is untriggered, below the day breakout level, TP previous day peak, triple star setup, played out. For New York, the reason why I went with NAS instead of US 30 is that there was no H8 fake out or H4 fake out at the time of the US Open. Shortly after, it did trigger the previous H8 high. And once this bar happens, I'd be interested. So this bar is uh, the last bullish breakout. That's the last piece of information that the market tells you that traders are pushing in one direction. And then when there's a breakout bar on the opposite direction, that tells me that the market's reversing. Um, so once this happened, I would be looking at US 30, and I for sure would have entered on the break of the H8 high, break of the H4 high, and I would have entered right here. Stop loss in New York, I tend to be more aggressive, so I would probably put my stop loss here. If not, it would be at the high, but I don't think it's worth taking a trade like with that on such a volatile pair. So I would have definitely had a tight stop loss, and trade would for 100%, I would have hit a stop loss on this trade. Only reason why I did not take this, uh, so it did fake out. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 100% I would have been on this trade. It's just 100% lucky that I was trading NAS instead of US 30. So I think this is a valid setup for me. And after that, breakout. It's above the previous week low. So this is a fake out. So it's possible longs are possible here, but it did not fake out a previous day low. So yeah, I would not be looking for a breakout reversal on this. So yeah, I would still be looking for sells. Nothing here, nothing here. Previous day high fake out, high of the day, going with my signal day. This is something I would be trading, but I wasn't trading at this time. So this would have been a good entry as well. Um, if I were watching it, I'd be taking an early entry up here at the H4 fake out, or on the 5 minute when it breaks the last bullish bar, breaks below that. So that's how I enter. I look for the last bullish bar, and then I wait for a breakout bar. Not on the. Sometimes I'll take these fake out bars for aggressive entries, but I usually wait for the breakout that's going against this. So that's how I enter. Look for the last bullish breakout, and I enter on a bearish breakout that breaks that bar. I don't count pushes or anything like that. I only look at the breakout level. That's it, and the higher time frame peak fakeouts. No pushes for me. Did not take US 30, so that was it. That's all I took for the US session. Forex pairs, I didn't even bother to look at them. They were all gone already. No setups on those. I'm sure there are pullbacks, but I didn't look at them. Yep, that's it. That's what I took in New York. Um, yeah.